Welcome to the Onemanshowoff Podcast, where we talk about whatever we want. Today I have a really special guest. He's a artist that's pretty big in the artist community, but that doesn't make him any different than you and I. He's talented. He's probably one of the nicest people in the artist community, and his name is David Barron, but his online alias goes by Red Blooper, Goop Bloop, Loopity Bloopity, Loopity Octopus. How you doing?
I'm doing all right, thank you very much.
Oh, that's good to know. I'm like 2 minutes late for this interview because I was sleeping in. But hey, we stay up all night because it's summer and that's nice, right?
Yeah, that's understandable.
Yeah. All right, let's go. All right. So first question. So what made you want to draw, and how long have you been doing it?
Well, I'll answer how long I've been doing it first. I think I've been sketching since about 2006, so I'd say I was in 6th grade when I first started, filling up composition books full of like little doodles and stuff of story ideas that I had. What prompted me to start was probably all the cartoons that I would watch as a kid. I was so interested in all like the different styles, all these cool stories and stuff that were being told through TV that I wanted to make my own. So, through studying them, through making my own doodles, making my own characters and ideas, that's how I started.
Huh. Sometimes I would say how you are like if John Kay took a back rest, because you have an expressive style that I really want to try to emulate, and is John Kay one of your inspirations in some way?
Actually, that's a good question, because back when I was seriously trying to improve, which was around 2010, I stumbled upon John Kay's his blog, where he shares a bunch of character design tips, construction tips, things like that, and that was one of my biggest sources of inspiration from around late 2010 to 2012.
All right.
So yeah, he was a pretty big inspiration.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's for a lot of people too. Okay, so next question. Where did the squid stick come from? Do you love squids?
Well, I do, yeah. Specifically bloopers. Actually, that that moniker, the one I first used, Red Blooper, was actually my old Club Nintendo ID, which I had done before I went into DeviantArt. And since I guess I was just pretty lazy with the name, I decided to go with it. I was actually originally thinking of, instead of that, using the name Red Baron, which made a bit more sense considering my last name. But I decided to go with the Nintendo-themed name.
All right. It's really easy to come by. Instead of just Red Baron, you would probably come right by Snoopy or something.
Yeah.
Okay, so next question. Who is your inspirations for you as an artist? And I mean not just like drawing. I mean just in general for character, world building, and your style of humor.
Oh, yeah, specific inspirations. I'd say that my list of inspirations is practically endless, because I can take something from anything, whether it be fine art, music, nature, the outdoors. Anything can inspire me to do something with my art that I probably haven't done before. But specific inspirations, I'd say artists like Katie Rice, Osamu Tezuka, Akira Toriyama, let me think, Bruce Timm, Shane Glines, Jack Kirby, etc.
I've actually tried to follow this rule for myself, and that is to, be inspired by everything, not have anything specific. I mean, yeah, having specific is good, but, it's pretty much everything that what makes us anyway, because we are alive.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, the more inspirations you have, the better.
Exactly. Next question. How did you come up with some of your characters, namely Shelby, Sherry, Taffy, and her grumpy green friend?
The first character actually that I ever came up with was Casey. Before that, I had a few like proto characters, like characters who would eventually evolve into the characters that you probably see me drawing today.
Mhm.
With Casey, it first started with like just a drawing I saw of one of my favorite artists. It was like this very flat, simple design for a girl, and I was thinking, "Ooh, that's actually pretty interesting. I'd like to design a character similar to that, like a female character with a very simple design."
Huh. I think that pushes the idea that everything is inspired by everything. Nothing is really completely original, so you can't really expect anything to be completely original out there.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, I was just talking about that the other day.
Eh,
That these days, originality is a very rare occurrence.
I,
Um, yeah,
I was going to mention, yeah, I skimmed through that a big article thing that you and Superion did, where it's like a big interview talking about what's original and what's not.
yeah, exactly. That's what I was talking about.
Yeah, I'm kind of am not I'm on the fence about that kind of thing because I just want to design characters however I want and not try to keep in mind how original or unoriginal it is because artists tend to just be inspired by everything. I mean, there's a saying somewhere that I can't think of right now that talks about how great artists steal so they can make their own stuff. Kind of like how Inside Out took from Osmosis Jones. But hey, I'm quoting NZ here. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. I understand. The thing is, a little bit of what I was talking about from that old interview was that a good way to avoid doing quote unquote copycat like designs or poses or ideas would be to just take a little bit from a lot of different inspirations instead of taking a bit too much from any one inspiration.
Well,
You
yeah.
get
I
it?
mean, I'm sorry for interrupting, but yeah, stuff like Steven Universe is like Dragon Ball combined with Girl Utena
Yeah,
or something like that.
with a little bit of Sailor Moon tossed into it as well.
Oh yeah, the flower thing. Yeah. Okay. Next question. Have you experimented in other fields such as animation, writing, and even filmmaking?
I've dabbled in animation in the past. Back when I was creating the concept for a potential video game project I was going to do, which eventually didn't go anywhere. I was actually doing some test animations, like for example, walking, running, idle animations for the character. Um, I actually posted a running animation up on Tumblr years ago, to see what kind of reception it would get, and it was what I would expect. I just needed to improve. I needed to do a little bit better. Um, I decided that animation wasn't really for me because there were plenty of other people, including like close friends of mine, who do it much better than I can,
Huh.
and have a keen eye for that sort of thing.
Be- because I want to, insert myself into everybody. Not really. No, I just wanted to mention how I went to SVA to learn animation, and yeah, it's pretty tough stuff to take in. I mean, not for me, but I'm sure for everyone else.
Yep. Personally, I'm actually more interested in comics than in animation.
Oh my gosh, there's so much of an art form for comic. There's so much more interesting stuff going on in comics because people can easily get into it.
Mm-hmm. I feel like I can convey my ideas much easier
Yeah.
through comics than through animation. I mean, sure, I can storyboard, but I feel like the dynamic, angles and different kinds of like, how do you say, composition and stuff that you can do in comics is, in my opinion, much more appealing than, you know, storyboards and animatics and things like that. But that's not to say that storyboards don't interest me.
Yeah. I personally believe that there's a huge field open for you to be a professional storyboarder somewhere.
Yeah, that'd be a pretty cool thing.
Yes, it would be amazing. Okay, last question. What drawing software are you the most experienced with?
Oh, you probably know this already.
Oh, Psy.
But yeah, exactly.
for
Paint Tool
interrupting.
Psy. Before I discovered Psy, I was dabbling in Photoshop Elements, and actually I don't remember the other program that I was in. It came bundled with the Bamboo Fun that I bought, which was my first tablet ever, and that I used that program for the longest time. But then when I discovered Psy and all the tools it had available, including that trusty stabilizer,
Yes.
yep, then, the rest is history.
All
I
right.
started using that program for virtually everything because it was versatile enough that, and with so many tools that I could practically do anything on it.
You were able to make witchcraft with it, because I swear. Okay, that's really all the questions I gotta ask, but I just came up with something right on top of my head. I personally think that Shelby and Cherry could have their own TV show where they live together, because, Cherry needs to have a place to stay, and Shelby's just, being bugged around by her.
Yeah, you know what? I've actually thought of like a slice of life spin-off comic featuring those two, because I mean, officially they're connected with the rest of my characters, with Casey and Marine and Gus, in this big story idea that I have.
Yeah.
But I've always dabbled in the idea of spin-off comics and stuff featuring those two,
Ah,
because I feel like they could hold. Let's see. How do you say? Yeah, they could hold one up on their own.
how many ideas do you even have? I mean, you can have like a lot of ideas, but you just gotta like write them down if you think they're that good enough. So, how many do you have?
Currently, I have about like 4 or 5, I believe.
Oh,
But I've-
what?
Sorry, I've only got 2 that I'm like developing seriously at the moment because I feel
Right.
like the others that I've got in my mind are a little too ambitious for me at the moment. So
Yeah,
I'm just gonna wait a while until I have like the time, the resources
yeah,
to develop those further.
that's perfectly reasonable. Sorry for the interruptions.
Oh, no
And I think that concludes our episode of our little podcast interview thing. David, it was a pleasure getting to talk with you, and it was it was really fun to talk with you too.
That was a pleasure to do this as well. Thanks for inviting me.
You're very welcome. That's it, and we'll catch you all later.